Homeschooling is not always rainbows and unicorns. And for years, I would watch all these different YouTubers, homeschoolers. Their children look so well behaved in their homeschool room, perfectly organized, and they had their lessons plans all arranged out. And I was looking and going, that's not me. I decided today that I'm just going to expose at least my reality that homeschooling sometimes just sucks. In general, as a parent, I think life sometimes sucks. As we deal with all of these challenges, it only makes our super mama powers even stronger. I am Erica. I am a homeschooling mom of 3. My kids are 11, 8, and 3 years old. Today, we are just going to talk about life, homeschooling life. I'm just going to give you a little bit of an update on how this fall winter season has been going for us, and I'm going to give you 5 of the issues that I've been dealing with in homeschool life and some of the solutions that I am implementing like currently, and some of the solutions that I have already done to solve some of these problems. Just sit back, get a cup of coffee and tea, and we're just gonna be like girls that are just sitting on the sofa chitty-chatting, because that is what today is all about. I am not this super organized, clean freak, everything needs to be done perfectly type woman. I can live with things being what I consider an organized hot mess. And I just want to talk about today some of the issues that I've been dealing with in the last couple of months, because I think that these can end up being issues for many of us in our homeschool lives, and maybe some of the things that I'm doing to find a solution to these problems can help you either to be proactive in preventing these things from happening to you, or maybe solving current issues that you're having. Let's talk about my issues and the solutions that I've made. One of my biggest issues have been this year, my little one, my preschooler, my 3-year-old. And I see all those videos that talk about how to manage homeschool life with a young one around. I'm gonna have a little confession, y'all, right now. Just a little bit of a confession. I outsourced my preschooler this year. Yes, I did, y'all. Yes, I did. Let me tell you the story. My 3-year-old has just demanded a lot of attention in the house, just wanting time from us, which is normal, you know? Mama, 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 mama. Yeah, he wants attention. And I tried all those little busy bags and busy boxes and little activities. It wasn't working. And he created a really big distraction in our homeschooling time. Luckily, in my neighborhood, we have a little preschool playtime group. So I have outsourced him to this playtime group, and that has been the biggest source of relief. At this point, he goes about 3 to 4 times a week. It gives me and my older children time to focus on their studies. We get at least 3 or 4 hours in that we can be full in on our homeschool time, which 3 or 4 hours is honestly enough time for us to get all of our work done. I felt so guilty when I first did this, because I'm like, I'm a homeschooler. Like, all of my kids should be at home and I should be able to manage that. Sometimes it's not manageable. And when it's not, and if you have the resource around you, it's okay, girl. Outsource. Send your little one to a preschool group, or send your little one to grandma's house. Whatever resource you can find, it's okay that you need to send them out of the house during your homeschool time. Hopefully sound is better for you guys now. Listen, my second problem that I'm having is with my older 2, lacking motivation during all of their schoolwork. They have gone on this rebellious crusade against anything that has to do with learning. And I'm getting it from both of them, and I will explain it in a moment. But It's driving me crazy because at this age, one is 11 and one is 8, as much as I want to say, hey, go explore your own topics, because I know that is a form of homeschooling, I still believe in somewhat of a traditional approach in learning some of your basic subjects. They want nothing to do with it. Here has been my solution, that it's a work in progress and I am praying on it that it works. With my son, what I've done is I've completely backed away from being so intense on the curriculum itself. I've also allowed him now to take 2 days off. He is going to an engineering studio. Let me tell you, this boy is all about engineering. He will make something of a Coke can that you have never imagined. In this class and this time there, he gets to mess around with 3D design, 3D printers, electrical circuits, building all types of stuff. Right now they're working on a plane, on creating their own RC plane. To see his energy change around and his enthusiasm already shows me that this is a kid that needs to be hands-on. This is a kid that needs to be inspired by his passions. From week to week, it has varied, but at this point, now that he has less days of homeschool time, when we do get to our homeschool time, he's a little more focused. He has even gone so far, and bless the child, he has even started his schoolwork on his own. Now, I know some of you are going to say he's 11 years old, so of course he should be independent and do it on his own. But this is my child, y'all, that he, again, for years has wanted nothing to do with schoolwork. Nothing to do with schoolwork. So it was just like pulling teeth to get him to do anything. I'm proud that I've made this progress, that I can wake up some mornings and he's like, oh, mama, I already did my workbooks. Now, I'm not going to say they were done to, perfection, which is okay, but it's the thought that he's taking the initiative on his own to do it now. And you can also see that he's more relaxed because of the fact that he gets those 2 days to pursue something that he truly, truly loves. With my daughter, who's 8, she's the one that I'm surprised of because she's my little academic. She's the one who flips through the teacher's manual and teaches herself. What I've done with her, my way of backing off with her, I'm letting her just explore things on her own. She has all the textbooks. They're all on the library shelf, on our bookshelf. So she just pulls things out and just learns them on her own. And of course you'd say, well, is she actually learning this stuff? The fact that she gets the space to do it on her own is making her feel more enthusiastic about studying. And that's what I need from them. It's not about the actual materials, because for me, in the end, it's about creating a passion for learning in the way that you need to learn. If you see that your kids are lacking motivation, one of the things you should do is find a way to connect with them. And connecting is not something that I'm talking about physically. Connecting is what I've done. Connecting with what they enjoy doing, how they enjoy learning. The third problem, my kids are getting some bad behavior and bad attitude. Every age is a new stage of bringing new challenges. Let's break it down by each kid. My 3-year-old is just being a 3-year-old, learning how to communicate and having meltdowns. It's normal. I completely expect this, and that's easy to handle because I know that this is a critical stage for developing his social and emotional skills. Now, the tough part are the 2 oldest ones. Oh my goodness gracious, they are both strong-minded, strong-willed, stubborn, and absolutely rebellious. On one hand, I love that they're this way. On the other hand, it can bring challenges, chaos, and conflict when they're not having each other and when they're unhappy with me. My daughter, she is 8, going on 18, and my 11-year-old son
is just a half foot shorter than me. His foot is bigger than mine. He's wearing the same size as me, and he growing a little fuzz on his lip. Now, this is just to say that I believe that he's already going through like these preteen years, and that the testosterone is starting to bubble. And boy, oh boy, let me just say, these two, they are testing and wearing down my positive parenting skills. I'm human, so I'm not perfect in how I deal with all the situations with them. With my 3-year-old, I'm super patient because I know that he doesn't know any better. But with the older two, at times, I end up yelling, and afterwards, I'm feeling so guilty because I know that there's a better way to approach the situation. And it's tough because when you are bombarded with 3-year-old tantrums, sisters and brothers who are fighting each other constantly, and then their rebellious behavior, it tears you down. And I'm very sensitive to conflict, so it's tough for me to feel all this negativity. And right now, it's happening like on a daily basis, and it gives me anxiety. So listen, you're saying, girl, how are you dealing with this hot mess? There's 2 things that I'm doing right now to manage sort of the bad behaviors things, because at the end of the day, it's not always about discipline. It's about connecting with your children, because when they're doing these things, they're acting out because they're missing something. I have 2 resources. First of all is mindfulness. The second one is just always reading and seeking resources to nurture this positive parenting, conscious parenting mentality. There are 2 people that I reference for this. The first of all is a gentleman that is on YouTube, and his channel is called Live on Purpose. Love his channel. It gives me tons of inspiration and reflection and advice. The second one I recently fell upon, and I am totally all into reading her books, and I cannot wait to make some videos about this. Dr. Shefali. She talks about conscious parenting. Girl, she breaks it down, all these different behaviors that we have to deal with, and the essence comes back to connection, but also is mindfulness from us as parents. So when I get enough rest, it's really easy for me to be mindful, and that mindfulness helps me to stay patient. Listening almost daily, almost like an affirmation for myself, to like Life Will Purpose or Shefali's like recordings, it helps me keep my patience, because y'all, sometimes we ready to woo. I know that all they need from me right now is patience and understanding. And I just hope we get through this phase of rebelliousness really soon. I know the years to come still has more. Yeah, if I could just have it a little more mellow, that would be nice. Okay, the next one is all about discipline, and I step a little bit out of my normal filming zone so you can see this. Oh my goodness. Okay, forget about the toys. That's just a daily thing. But this hot mess behind me, this is a discipline issue. I, in the past, had systems to keep that stuff from happening, and I have fallen off the wagon. The systems help me to keep it not perfect, but at least in good condition. And these are the 2 things that I had. First of all, responsibility charts. So the kids on a daily basis are required to do specific chores, and also on the weekend, specific chores to help out. And I haven't been doing that. We gotta get back to it. And the second one is all about meal preparation. That's killing me in the evenings and having to prep new meals each time. In the past, 2 or 3 times a month, I would prep huge amounts of various meats and breakfast foods and have them ready to like pop out of the freezer for us to eat. And that is the other critical thing that I need to do. Those are the things that I need to do right now to help with discipline. First of all, those responsibility charts, getting everyone involved and helping out with the house. And then second of all, meal preparation. The next one is managing through just pure exhaustion and more or less almost burnout. I'll explain the reasons why I have it. Some of you may relate to some of the reasons, and another part of my reasons you may not relate to, but at least you will know my story. Many times, if someone asks me how I'm doing, I reply, just surviving and thriving. Usually there is a balance through this cycle of surviving and thriving, but recently I feel like I am just in pure survival mode, and it is mentally and physically exhausting. This is a pivotal period as I began transitioning into becoming a single homeschool mom. It's also an awkward period because my future ex-husband, which it sounds funny to say it that way, we live together. Luckily, we are not in a state of conflict with each other, and I'm grateful for this because honestly, I'm not in a financial position to afford us living in two separate households. Except for the kids, our lives are very much separated now, but that leaves a strange vibe. Financially, we have his help, but from an emotional perspective, I do feel more or less like a single mother in the household. I spent almost the last 10 years as a non-working stay-at-home mom and homeschooler. When I took this path, I said, you know what, divorce should not end our homeschool life. And at this point, I am hustling to become financially independent on my own terms without having to go into an office. I'm working on building a business that allows me and the kids to still enjoy our freedoms of homeschool life. Building a business takes time and a lot of energy. So I'm struggling to balance all the kids' activities, work tasks, household obligations. The beautiful part is I'm doing something that I truly enjoy. You're probably saying, girl, that sounds heavy. And yes, it is. Here's my solution. Right now, what I do is I just simply ask for help. Lucky again, my soon-to-be ex-husband lives in the same house. So I can say, hey, can you take the kids to this activity? Can you do that? Because I have work things to do. So we sort of coordinate schedules with each other. And beyond his help, we have neighbors. So I will make sure if I need some space or the kids need to get separated, I will send my daughter off to her best friend's house, and that gives the two older ones a little break from each other. Little one goes to playtime, so that's eased some of the tension that the older ones are a little bit fussy about him being around. With my son, he also has a friend and neighbor who I have to say, it's just such a blessing to have friends like this. The father, he takes my son to activities that he has. He will take him out with outings with his son. It is just a blessing. And that's when you realize, and it almost brings me to tears right now, that when you're in a certain position sometimes, guys, you just have to reach out to those around you. And you will be amazed what people will do. So that's my whole ending to all this today, is just when you're feeling down, don't forget the family, the friends, and the community around you. We are not alone. I named this channel Supermama because I just wanted us to recognize that we are not superhuman. We are special. Why? Our superpower is that we are perfectly imperfect. We are smart enough to actually embrace and get all the tools and skills that we need to nurture our families, to nurture ourselves as women. We do need a reminder sometimes to say, girl, you can't be doing all that stuff by yourself. I hope I leave you with a little inspiration today to understand that, you know what, if you are having a tough time right now in your homeschool life, it's normal. Don't get tricked by all these other YouTubers making things look purty, because sometimes it's just not purty. But we're in this together, and this is the community I want to build. Leave a comment below. Let me know how homeschool life is going for you. Let me know what solutions you are creating to keep your chaos in order. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.